Welcome, you two. I am Juice.
And I'm Antoine de Miller.
It's your boy Sal. What's going on, y'all?
And on Pure Consciousness, it's nice to be here with you, gentlemen.
All right. Today's topic is the pros and cons of being a helicopter parent. The definition of a helicopter parent is referring to a overprotective and very involving parent style. Just like a helicopter hovers, so does the parent. They typically involve themselves in all aspects of their children's lives and sometimes to determine of their kids. Now, with that being said, I must come to say that I have witnessed Anton Domela with his family, and I kind of asked him a question and said, "Hey, man, are you a helicopter parent?" And he looked at me and was like, "I don't think so." So I gave him my idea why I think he's a helicopter parent. But if you don't mind, sir, tell me why you think, or why you think not you're a helicopter parent.
So I would say, by that definition, you can apply that definition to me in my parenting skills or style. And I'll give you the reason why. I try to, as much as possible, uh, control everything around me, right? I'm not going to lie about that. But I have a vision in my head that, in how it should end, the end game of that thing or of that activity. So I try to control as much as possible so it can come out to what I see as perfection, right?
Hmm.
Whether it's good or bad, that's how it occurs. Uh, I can see kids as they get older. Yeah, you do need to release the reins a little bit because in at some point you've got to give them the chance to apply what you've taught them throughout the years, right? And I do have some issues of letting go a little bit. I'll admit that. But the world is horrible. So I try to protect them as much as I can for as long as I can. And I think as they get older, they're going to start to push back on that a little bit. And as a parent, I've got to learn to step back or fall back once when they get older, right? Because obviously, when they move out of the house, I'm not going to be there around every corner to help them. So they've got to, I've got to fall back a little bit, but it's hard. So I would say yes, I am, but I've got to learn to let it go when they get older. When
I
they're
have a question.
younger, when they're younger, I'm just gonna hover, and hover.
Can you define younger and older? Like at what point, what age do you think? Obviously, it's not a on off switch, but when
Yeah.
do you think is a good time to start trying to back off a little bit?
I would say boys to 13 and 15, based on what you see as the father, are they adapting to your style? Are they showing signs or potentials of being what you want them to be? Girls, I think are much, much more older, but girls are going to get more resistance to that.
Okay, okay. Can I interject?
Yeah.
Well, sir, I've had a few years of studying child and adolescent psychology. I must tell you that you are uh, going on the wrong path as a because it's not what you want for that child, and it doesn't matter how much you try to teach or try to control, they're going to push back because it's not to control. Being a parent is not to control, but to connect. See, if you try to control, hoover, um, whatever else it says is a helicopter parent.
Yep.
Just trying to be there every second, every moment, watching, guarding. It's not gonna work. That's not how it work. And I think with parents today, you have to have a degree in any other job except the job of parenting. And I think that's where you really do need a degree, because we don't know how to parent, because we act off of a program from culture and society. And because we act off of that program, we normally we head down the wrong path with these children.
So why do you think it's a bad thing? What do you think would happen?
So I must say that me too, I'm guilty of being um was a helicopter parent until I decided to, you know, until I had that epiphany of what a parent should be. So I had to parent myself because I was a broken child. So if you does not understand the parent dynamic, you can't parent effectively. Not at all. So you have to understand the parent dynamic, understand where you're coming from, why you're doing what you're doing, where your parents came from. And then you educate yourself on how to become that conscious parent. So I had to go through an um intensive therapy. um I went to I learned a lot about child and adolescent psychology. And then also I had to learn how to parent myself, learn how not to be a victim to myself. So there's a lot of what's the word? Anyhow,
I would say
thoughts are gone. But go
over
ahead, someone
compensation,
else.
over
Huh?
compensation. Like
No, not overcompensation.
well, you did say that you feel lack of love, and usually if you feel lack of love, you want to make sure you pour that back into your kids because you didn't receive that yourself. But also in the process of doing that, you also create a barrier for nobody can tell your kids anything, and nobody can tell you how to. Don't get me wrong, parenting. One thing I like about parenting is that there's different styles, and also by having different styles, you create different set of kids which become grown adults.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want a process where everybody is more of a assembly line of the same people, because then you're going to have different creations. Because some people make beautiful art or beautiful things by being in the bad situations. Like most of the athletes in the NFL, they're there because they struggles. Don't get me wrong, not everybody want to go through that struggles, but they come to who they are of being the great or being the best they can be. Now, even with that, to your point, even with that being said, once they get up there and get all that fame, they still don't know how to handle it. Which any parent would know how to handle if you're not used to having money. That you will fall down in the cracks when it comes to all that stuff. But
Well, we are talking about children here, so this shouldn't be parenting shouldn't have styles.
so
It
parents
shouldn't
should
have
have what?
parenting styles, really. I don't
Yeah,
agree with parenting styles, like, because this is not an object you're talking about. This is a child.
yeah, and each
So
each
the
child
the most
gonna have a
important
different
thing.
personality though. Each child gonna
Oh,
have a different
they do.
personality.
Oh, personality. Yeah, that's right, personality.
So
But you,
therefore, your
but you
parent
as a
style might be
parent,
changed by that though.
yeah. But I'm saying that you as a parent, of course, you have to deal with different personalities. But I don't agree with the style. And again, what our childhood shapes our adulthood. So if you have a lot of if you were neglected in childhood, you were abused, and abuse, there's so many forms of abuse. So if that has happened in your childhood, it is going to be prevalent in your adulthood. So i I always blame the parents. We are
So
the ones to be blamed for children, acting a fool. And that's why in conscious parenting, by Dr. Shafali, she talks about connecting, not controlling. When you control, children push back, and you
pure
don't want that
consciousness.
pushback.
Let me ask you this question: why do we have kids?
Why do we have kids?
Yeah.
To
I'll
control.
pose that question
If
to
we're not
everyone
educated,
on the panel. Why do we have kids?
I can answer that.
Yeah.
Um, for me, I think it's different for everyone, but I know for me, I wanted to pass on my lineage. You know, I wanted to add a great, what I, you know, would obviously assume to be a great human being to society. You know, I wanted him to represent me and his mom, our family. I wanted him to contribute to society. I wanted him to, you know, I wanted to give him the best life possible. I wanted to watch him grow up over the years. I wanted to experience being a parent, and you know, as a whole. So
Okay. Juice.
Well, I had that question. I was going to have that question for a podcast, but I'm glad you brought it up. For me, honestly, to have somebody that come from me, that's pretty much what it is. Just have somebody to come from me and somebody I can nurture and take care of and stuff like that. As for legacy, what Seth touched upon, um, the other question about having kids is what's the benefit it is for the parent? Because
Yeah.
technically, there's no benefit for you as a parent because people say, "Oh, having kids are wonderful, great," but they don't tell you about the ins and outs, the ups and downs, the crying nights, the discipline part of it. You know, because everybody think having kids is so happy, happy, and glory, glory, and
Yeah.
it's not like that. But at the end of the day, it is something you created, and you want to nurture it as best as possible, and also give them everything as best as possible. So the reason why I have
Okay.
kids is because I just want to see another a version of myself. Let me say it that way.
Okay. And I'll pose
Okay.
the same questions to you, pure consciousness.
Well, I really didn't know why. I didn't think about it, and that's a good question. If a lot of parents stopped to ask themselves why, I guess they would never have children. I never asked myself why. It just happened. You see?
Okay.
So that's why that's where you go down the wrong path again as a parent. Because now I have this being in front of me, and I'm just gonna, apply what has been applied to me, which is pure and simple control. And that's not how you parent. So that's a good question. And that's what most people need to ask themselves before they have children.
Okay. So I'll answer it for me.
You said what?
I'll answer it for me. I have a long-term plan, and that plan goes beyond my lifetime. So therefore, where the kids come in, it's not random, but it's planned to an extent where there's a continuation into different lifelines. I'll say lifelines that to execute my plan. Right. So it's just like I have kids, so I do my part of that plan of hitting those objectives and goals. My firstborn has his objectives and goals, and then it goes beyond and beyond and beyond. Now, if I can live forever, right, it'll be different, but I can't. So that's where the kids come in. Like, for instance, farmers.
So wait,
The,
wait, wait.
the
Let,
re-
let, let me ask you this. So you had
okay.
your plan is to procreate. That's what you're saying?
No, the plan is not to procreate,
It's
but the
so
plan is to. I have a plan in my head of a vision of a future for my family, right? And that's where the kids come in to help with that,
what the hell?
right? So it's like I have my part to do, and they have their part to do. This is why in one of these podcasts we did, I talked about planning for 3 generations ahead, right? Because you cannot just live life at random and just do whatever you want. It all has to serve a purpose.
what
It
do they have
all
a
has
different
to
plan than
have
you?
a benefit. Huh?
What did they decide? I don't want dad's plan. They
Well, I
still got
can't
to decide.
control that. Yeah, no, you're right. I can't
Oh, oh,
control
oh,
that.
oh, okay,
I can
okay.
only plan. I can only plan, but I cannot have control over everything. Because you could write the next one can say, "Well, I don't like that, and we're not doing that," and then the whole thing blows up, right?
Antoine.
But I will tell you this. Hold on, farmers, right? Why you see farmers having so many kids, it's to help on the farm, right? It's not random to have 14, 15 kids, right? It's to help out on the farm so they don't have to hire someone to do that. And it saves the family money,
But do you think that's right to
right?
have
It
kids
just,
to help you work? Are
no,
you
it's,
making slaves?
hold
You
on.
manufacturing slaves?
hold on. If you
Yes,
look,
that's slavery.
no, it's not
Yes,
slavery.
it is.
No,
It's slavery.
not.
Okay. So,
Are they not?
so,
Are they
so,
not getting? Go ahead.
so, wait a minute. Oh, remember where you came from. Remember where we came from. Remember that background we came from.
I
Remember what that man was doing to us. Getting up early in the morning, going to work, telling you, but time to get up. Boom, boom, boom. How did you feel? Remember, so we always have to remember to not carry the pain from our past into our future. Those are not objects. You are talking about a human being, not for you to control. Have you heard about childism? You never heard about childism, I'm sure. You heard
pure
about
consciousness.
sexism, racism, and every other
Pure,
ism, but childism. Let's
hold
look it
on.
up and see what it is.
Hold
We
on.
are not, children are not slaves. We didn't create these children.
No one said
You didn't
anything
create
about
a child.
slavery. Who said anything about slavery? It's
So
just
why are
having,
you trying to put them
it's
to work?
having a plan.
A plan is
Have-
a slavery
I'm
plan.
just, hold on, and I'm just stating what farmers did and why they had so many kids, right?
Okay,
And I'm
don't
just
even
stating
say that
having.
because you're scaring me.
Okay, we'll get off the farmer thing, but I am simply stating, right, is that you got if so you're just living life, you're not having any plan for the future, or
So,
you're just having a plan for your lifetime, and then the other lifetime just got to fend for themselves. No, this is why successful families build foundations. When you build a foundation, you're also saying that there is a next phase to that foundation. There is a phase that goes on top of that foundation, so that is a plan, right?
yes,
And you're
yes, I
also
understand.
and this is what a legacy is.
No,
A,
no,
le-
no, no,
a
no,
legacy, a
no, I
legacy.
disagree. I
Hold on,
disagree.
hold on. Okay, hold on. A legacy is not a lifetime thing. It's not just your lifetime. When Cell said he want and Cell and Juice said they want to build a legacy, they're talking of the future also beyond their death. That's what a legacy is. Look at how many successful families we have now that have long legacies that goes back 400 years.
But
Don't you
what
think
have they done,
don't you think at some point
Antoine?
somebody did plan something?
No,
Somebody
but
planned something back then.
okay,
400 years.
before I forget, before let me interject for a little while, saying
Okay.
that I've been doing this intensively about, you see, that's why my mentor is Dr. Shafali. Go check her out. She's a psychologist who incorporate the philosophy of Eastern and Western, right? So in there's a spiritual connection, right? Let me tell you something. She said something that really resonated to me, and through my evolution, changing, you know, I really it really resonated to me deeply because what she said is this: you have to live in the present, not for your future. That's where the anxiety comes because you are planning for your children. Who are you to plan for your children? That's controlling. You're
What
not
do you mean?
connecting. And
What
then that's where the disappointment comes, because when you plan for George in the future and George say, hey, I'm not going down that road, I'm going the opposite direction, then you're disappointed. But you can't plan for another human being. You're trying to control them.
So why does it work for successful families?
How you know there's success? You just seeing the material things attached to it.
No,
Right.
You
I'm
just
seeing
seeing the material things attached to it.
so okay, well, how do you define success then as a family?
Not
Not as an
no.
individual, but as a family. How do you
No, well, I
define
don't
success
define
as a
success
family?
as the attachment to anything that's outside yourself. That's not success. When
So
you're
here's what
successful, you have to go within and understand that you accept the what is, and you
no.
not accept what you think success and happiness is. It's not. It's
What
something
is
that
the
you need to be
doctor's name?
educated about. It's not material things, because listen, people can be going to the moon 12,000 times, have 10,000 cars, but yet still they're not happy. Look at the stars. Look at PDD now. That's the most prevalent gossip that they have now. Look at him. He's a billionaire. Yet still he's not happy.
Who did you
You
say?
see?
Who? Who did you say just now?
Huh?
Who you
What
say is a
person you
billionaire?
named just now?
Oh, PDD.
Oh, P Diddy.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah.
What is
Oh,
the doctor's name? What
And
is
you
the
might say
doctor's
he's
name?
successful, he's a billionaire. But look what he's into now. Look
Okay,
at his life.
what
Look
is
what
the
it has
doctor's
caused him.
name?
So success, don't equate success to material things. They can be taken away. Success should come from within you. You
Okay.
should teach, the most important thing you should teach your family have is compassion. You
I
see?
think she's spitting.
Can,
I think she's spitting.
can I jump in there now?
Jump in, out, wherever
I'm
you want to jump. Go ahead.
I'm not used to this long-windedness from others.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
pretty sure I guess.
Welcome to the guys' world.
Okay.
You see, this is my masculine side coming out.
Oh, but let us put it back in for 1 second, right?
Okay.
Because you are thinking
Back in the box.
you are thinking in emotion and not logic, right? And here's why
Oh
I say that.
no. Oh no.
Hold on. Well, here's why I say that, right? Because everything you define success just now was around emotions and feelings, right?
In feelings. Okay.
Yeah, because you're saying happiness. That's an emotion.
No,
that's
not
a feeling,
happiness.
right?
I never say anything about happiness.
Yeah, you said
I
like,
said people look for happiness in material things, in the
yeah,
material
but you
world.
also
You can't
stated
find
that.
it there.
Yeah,
Because
but you
if
also
you're
stated
not
that P. Diddy.
successful, so
But
if
you
you're
also,
not a billionaire, you're not successful. If you're not making six figures, you're not successful. But
that's
trust me,
emotion. But that is
it does
emotional
not, no,
too.
that's not emotion. It's not
Yes,
emotion.
that's the
It's not
emotion.
emotion. It's coming from consciousness.
Happiness is an emotion.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It
Happiness
is
is an emotion.
consciousness. It's
It's
not
not
an
a
emotion.
tangible. It's not a tangible thing. It's an emotion.
But
So-
that's what you're
so
equating. That's
Antoine,
what you're equating success to. Things that
Yeah.
are tangible, but things that are tangible can be taken away from you. Your
Okay.
car, your house, your billions, everything can be taken away. And what
Wow.
will you be left with?